Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're continuing in the Ayin. We're in Parshas Vayeshev. We're actually going to learn one of the Drushim l'Chanukah. Now, even though Chanukah usually does not fall out on Parshas Vayeshev, however, in this week's Parsha, the Ayin brings an amazing remez from the mice of Tamar and Yehuda to Chanukah. In addition, the Ayin says that this Parsha of Tamar and Yehuda, the story, the psukim, the words that are found in the Maisa of Tamar and Yehuda actually alludes to another very important idea that relates to Hanukkah, is that it's brought down in the Kisvei Ari that the final stamp of the judgment on Rosh Hashanah is on Hanukkah. That up until Hanukkah, you can change a person's din. I heard this from the Mashgiach. It's also brought down in the Marsha in Masechtas Bechoros, this concept that you can actually still change the din on Hanukkah. And the Ayin brings a remez from this week's parsha. Now, before we begin the Drushim l'Chanukah, which starts Vayhi kimishalosh chadoshim, let's just give a little bit of a background in the mice of Tamar and Yehuda. Tamar was married to Yehuda's eldest son, Er. Er died. Tamar then married the second son, Ayin. Ayin did not want that the children should be after Er, as is a concept in Yavamas. So he also died. He refused to have, he had relations with her, but it was be'aveira. She was then supposed to marry the third son. Yehuda did not want her to marry. He pushed her off. He gave excuses. Tamar then disguised herself as a Zoina and ended up living with Yehuda. And now the Ayin says, Vayhi kimisholosh chadashim. It was after 3 months that in actuality that Tamar lived with Yehuda, and Yehuda was unaware that it was his daughter-in-law. Vayugad Yehuda, it was told to Yehuda, Leimar zonsa Tamar, that Tamar was mezana. Now how do they know? Because she was pregnant, and now she was showing. And everybody said, how could she be pregnant? She didn't marry the third son yet. Must be she was mezana. Sehine isa b'kisvei hari. The Ayin says it's brought down in the Kisvei Hari. She'ikr soif gemar hachasima. The main end of the chasima of Rosh Hashanah is not on Hoshana Rabbah, but rather it's on Chanukah. This is a concept that's brought down, as we mentioned before, in the Kisvei Ari. It's brought down in other places as well. This idea that a person can still change his Gemar Din till Chanukah. Imkain, if that's the idea, Nucha Loimer, the Ayin says we can learn from this idea, Shezeh Merumas V'Psukim Al Derech Zeh. It's Merumas in the Psukim of the Maisa of Tamar and Yehuda, specifically in this pasuk that begins Vayhi kimishalosh chadashim, and it's unbelievable, says the Ayin. Vayhi kimishalosh chadashim. Hainu, if you take a cheshbon, a calculation from Rosh Hashanah until Chanukah, is exactly 3 months. It's not exactly 3 months, but it's approximately 3 months. Vayhi kimishalosh chadashim. Hainu mi Rosh Hashanah at Chanukah, from Rosh Hashanah until Chanukah. She'oz ikar gemar chasima is the ikar gemar chasima, right? You have Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, right? So you have a little bit more than 3 months. So it's really more than 3 months because Tishrei to Cheshvan is 1 month, Cheshvan to Kislev is 2 months, and Kislev to Teves. So actually, the 3 months ends in the middle of Chanukah, from the second part of Chanukah, and therefore, in order to prevent a person from being able to change his din, Alkein Baha Mekatrek Abnei Adam. The Mekatrek comes on people, Lefnei Bari Olamim, comes in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu Merumas, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Merumas in the word Yehuda. So let's build out the psukim. Vayhi kimishalosh chadashim. So the Parsha Pshat is, like we learned, that after 3 months, they told Yehuda that Tamar was Mezana. The Ayin says, learn the pasuk in the derech of remez, as we know there's 4 different ways to learn a pasuk, is Vayhi kimishalosh chadashim. It's now at the end of the 3 months from Rosh Hashanah, the end of the final attempt to change the din. Vayugad Yehuda. It was told to Yehuda, which is a reference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who told Yehuda? The Satan. And what did the Satan tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Loima zonsa Tamar kalascha. That Tamar, your kala, was mezana, did an avera. And Tamar is referred to Klal Yisrael. Kalascha, we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu married us in Har Sinai. We are right. We are the kala of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even though the Kalasko in this reference refers to his daughter-in-law, but it also refers to a Kala. And we know that Tamar is a reference to Klal Yisrael. And just like it was told to Yehuda that Tamar did Avera, so too the Mekatrikim tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu after 3 months that Klal Yisrael did Avera. Hainu Knesses Yisrael. Knesses Yisrael is a word that's a reference to Klal Yisrael. Shedamsal Tamar, that is compared to a Tamar, like we know in Shir Hashirim. Tamar is a palm tree. She mechuna b'shem Kala, which is also reference to the word Kala, which is a bride. Zonsa v'sara mimcha. Klal Yisrael turned and did an Avera away from you. V'holcha achaz nunel, and went after her desires. The loydaila b'zeh shaholcha achar tavos libahara. It's not enough, says the Mekatrik, that she went after her desires. Hine hara liznunim. The pasuk says that not only did Tamar did an Avera, she actually became pregnant. The Basayin says that this is merumas. This is a remes to the concept that Klal Yisrael also did an Avera, that they became pregnant. Now, it doesn't literally mean that Klal Yisrael became pregnant. Pregnant is a reference. Hara hi bechinas dveikus. It's a reference of dveikus. Now, Pashup Pshat, the reason that it's dveikus is because through a pregnancy, a husband and a wife become dovuk to each other through the child. But it's a concept that in order for the Taiva showed that she reasoned that she wanted to live with somebody was because she wanted to become pregnant from him, which is an Aveira. Hainu shemi atzma hi devuka tomid b'tavosa b'lishum garm leza. The pasuk is being merames that Klal Yisrael b'mezid willingly wanted to do Averis, and because of that, they should get punished. Just like whoever told Yehuda was telling Yehuda, you see Tamar, she just didn't do an Averis tam. She was overcome by her desires. She literally went with the idea to become pregnant. It was calculated. There was a method, there was a reasoning with what she did. So too, the Basayin says, Merumas in this pasuk is that Klal Yisrael bedafka with a calculation, with specific intent, did Averis. And that's what it says. Now, if you continue, the Basayin says, Vayoyim Yehuda. Yehuda said, now in our pasuk, Yehuda said to whoever told him, she is guilty. Over here, it's referencing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vayarmi Yehuda hu abayre Baruch Hu hoitziu v'tisaref. Tell Klal Yisrael, tell the punishing angels to punish Klal Yisrael. Shebeloi shum grama u'meniyahim znunim. For no reason they're doing Averis. They wasn't forced. They weren't under any duress. And therefore, since they did it willingly, u'meniyahim znunim rak mi'atzmi hi hara udvuka l'tavis liba hara. Just like Yehuda said, she willingly did this Avera. Kaviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to the prosecuting angels, Klal Yisrael also did this Avera willingly. So now, at the last moment, before we have a last chance to change our Gemar Din, the Mekatrik tries to ruin it for us. He is prosecuting us, saying that the Averas that we did were willingly. Humutses, and as Tamar was being let out, she sent a message that she really is not guilty, she really is innocent. Visholcha el Chamea, she sent to her father-in-law, Leimor besnatzlus shal emes, in a message of truth. Sheshakar ona hasoten bezeh, that the messenger lied, right? And this is a remes to us, that at the last moment, mamish, as Chatz Sholem Yidden are going to be sent out to be punished, the final decrees to be sent out, we sent to HaKadosh Baruch Hu the message of Chanukah. That we tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the Mekatrik is lying when he said that we are doing Averis willingly because we want to be attached to our desires. Ki emesu sharak l'ish asher eila loy anochi hara. Tamar said to the person that these items belong to him I am Davuk. She was saying that I am only Davuk to Yehuda. So too Klal Yisrael says we are only Davik to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we're going to see in a second, the items that Tamar showed that was a sign that Yehuda gave her to know that he would pay her is actually merumas to Chanukah and the different mitzvahs of Chanukah. Pirush, she'anachnu amoy devukim rak b'bari olamim. On Chanukah, we're telling Hashem, do not listen to the Satan. We are actually only Davik to you. That we are attached to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is Chesed, who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of Chesed, which is also the gematria Eila Loi, right? Tamar told Yehuda, Eila Loi, the one that belongs to this is the one I'm attached to. Eila Loi also has the same gematria as Chesed. So why Taka we do Averus is only because we Machmas Roiv Tirvis Hazman, because the delay of the Beis Hamikdash, the delay of Mashiach, V'Tirvis HaParnasa, the terrible oil of Parnasa, Ushom Oiros Shal Bnei Adam, and the different demands and duress and lives obstacles that come to us. Really internally, we have tremendous love and we are attached to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, uchuka, with a yearning. This that we do Averis is only because the Sor Sheba Isa, we have to run for Panasa, we don't have a moment, we have constant sorrows. And we're going to bring a raya. Tamar told Yehuda, do you recognize these items? Please identify the owner of these items. What were these items? Was the stamp, right? Was the coat that he gave her, and the makel, the staff, the stick. This we're going to see is a reference to the mitzvah of Chanukah. The rames ala shemem, the signet, which is a chaysemes, not only is a remes to the chaysemes, the final stamp, is also a remes to the oil. We have found one pach shemen with the chaysemes. Right? So by us showing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look what we're doing. We're lighting this oil that you made a great miracle. The chaysemes, the only chaysem that we found in the Beis Hamikdash. The chaysem shall kohen gadol. V'apsilim, and the psilim, which refers also to the cloak, to the coat of Yehuda. Meramis al psila shal ner Chanukah. Meramis is hinted to the wicks that we put together for the ner Chanukah. V'hamata, and the stick, meramis al kli shal ner Chanukah, is a hint to the kli, to the actual menorah. Ki yadua ki tevis mata im hakoil gematria kli. The word mata with the koil. The koil means you add one to the total gematria. So hey is 5, mem is 40, so you have 45. The last hey is another 5, so that's 50. Tes is 59, correct? Plus 1 is 60. That's the same gematria as kli. Kli is 20, lamed is 30, so that's 50. Yod is 10. So you see that the mata, the stick, is a reference to the keli. What's the keli? The menorah. So you have from here that we are telling Kadosh Baruch Hu, do you recognize to who these items belong to? The one that these items belong to, that's the one that we're davik to. You're the one that made the chaysemes. You're the one that saved that one pach shemen. That's what we're lighting. You're the one that told us to light with the psilos, with wicks. You're the one that told us to use a menorah. The ones that this belongs to, that's the one that we're connected to. Piush mitzvahs ner Chanukah shon mekayim ke mitzvahs ritzoin HaKadosh Baruch Hu. From the mitzvah of ner Chanukah that we are mekayim through the will of Hashem, Ki royim mifuresha she'anachnu holchem rak achar ritzoin chadid. This is really the ultimate proof that we're only going after you. V'chashukim udvukim rak b'cho. So therefore, when we light the candle, the menorah, we're actually reaffirming our dvekas, our love, our tshuka, only to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's true that sometimes we do Averis, but it's only because the tir this is man. And that's Tamar, as Yehuda said, emes. She said truth. Vayaka Yehuda recognized. This is also referenced as the Basayin to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. At this point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu recognizes that what we do, right, is the emes. Tzat kamimeni. We were able to win over the prosecuting angel and convince Hashem that we are right. Kiviyochol ani chai b'zeh. Just like Yehuda said, I am chayiv. Lahavdil, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I am now chayiv to Klal Yisrael. They're right. Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is moide that we are right. They're doing the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah. This that sometimes they do against my will. Yehuda said, you know why Tamar did this? Because I was wrong, said Yehuda. I should have gave her my third son, She'ela, and I didn't. She wanted to do Yibum. I refused to give her Yibum, so she, in a roundabout way, she ended up living with me, said Yehuda, but she was right. I was the one that caused her to do this. So Meramis says the best ayin, like we know, like we mentioned, every pasuk has 4 ways to learn it. Remez, Drush, Pshat, and Soid, Pardes. Chodesh Baruch Hu is Meramis here too. This pasuk says that Klal Yisrael is right. She'ela is a reference to Mashiach, because I have not yet given them Mashiach. Just like Yehuda didn't give She'ela to Tamar, Chodesh Baruch Hu says, I didn't give you Mashiach. We know that the word She'ela is a reference to Mashiach. Ad ki yavo Shiloi, says the Basayin. Therefore, that's what's causing them to do Averis from time to time. So ultimately, the Basayin use this concept of being Meramis from the Psukim to Chanukah to give us a defense to our Averis, as is the ways of the Chernobyl dynasty. The Basayin we're going to learn next week was very close to Chernobyl. Chernobyl is Skver, is Rachmastrifk, is others. We'll learn about it more in Mitzvah Shem next week. He was very close, and he always brought from the Parshias, especially around Chanukah, as it's the final time to change the Gemar Din, different ways to defend Klal Yisrael against the prosecuting angels. And we see here a beautiful remez from the pasuk Mamish. It's 3 months. 3 months is literally from Rosh Hashanah to Kislev. So Ken Yeratzon, from doing the Ner Chanukah and from learning from the Basayin, should be a schus for us, and we should be Zaycha Taka to not only a good Gemar Chasima Toiva, but the ultimate Chasima Toiva, as we want that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should finally give us Shiloi, the Beis HaMikdash, Mashiach Meher B'Yameinu.